Good morning, Bitcoin. My name is Thomas Hunt, and this is Proof of Work. Proof of Work is a show about the people behind Bitcoin, what they do, and how they got here. Today's guest is Angry Old Goat.
Ugly old goat.
Ugly old goat.
I'm not angry, I'm ugly.
Ugly. Very big difference. Sorry about that. Welcome to the show, Ugly Old Goat. It sounds like an insult when I say it that way, though.
Thomas, I'm so honored to be on your show. I've been a fan of yours for so long, and I love you as Mr. Mad Bitcoin. I don't know why you're not Mad Bitcoin today.
I'm undercover. This is a secret Mad Bitcoin's underneath costume. I pull it off like Spider-Man.
Are you my friend?
Absolutely.
My friends call me by my first name.
All right, we'll try to call you Ugly. But let's start with everyone's favorite and most familiar question. What was your first computer?
Does an electric typewriter count?
I think it does. It plugs into the wall. Certainly not a manual.
Yeah, I had a little ball around and beep, 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 and it didn't take near as much finger power.
Oh yeah, those IBMs were amazing with the circular ball.
Yeah.
It would rotate. You didn't have to have the pushing like a manual typewriter. You push it, it actually moves the key, slams it up there and back. That one was just all electric. Right?
When I took typing class, we had like the whole room was manual typewriters, but we had like 2 electric on there. And you were always trying to get on that electric one because you could do things so much faster. It wasn't near as much work.
It seemed like the other ones, I've tried manuals and you have to type at a certain pace or it'll jam. Whereas an electric, you could just slam those keys in there.
Well, not only that, but everybody had their own signature. So if you typed something on it, they could match who you were because the impression on the letters changed depending upon the strength of your fingers. So it was like a fingerprint or speech analysis type of thing. They actually use it in court.
So finally you could type up all of your ransom letters, no more trouble.
That's right.
So after you got the typewriter, what did it allow you to do that you couldn't do before you had a typewriter?
Well, it just made the letter look prettier. It looked nice.
So you weren't judged by your ugly handwriting.
That's right. And plus, it was faster, and it was a lot less work.
And from there, how did you get into computers? Did you trade the typewriter in for an Apple II, or was it much later than that?
You know what? My father got an Apple II, and he took it back and couldn't make it work. I think I had some kind of Xerox or some kind of a system that was like a you can make a newsletter out of it. Word processor, not word processor.
Like let's make signs and banners.
Yeah, and it was actually I could do a newsletter and I could set up. It's what we take for granted now.
Yeah.
And you had a selection of maybe 2 or 3 fonts, and yeah, it was pretty cool. And I could take that and make a newsletter and then take it to the printer and they print out the newsletter and then we mail them out.
So what was your newsletter about?
Gold.
Gold.
Yeah.
Ah, so you're big into the gold market back in the day.
Back in the day,
and that, of course, led you to Bitcoin because a lot of gold people, a lot of libertarians find the Bitcoin, think they're pretty similar, or maybe they hate the Bitcoin. It's tough, right?
Well, I was into private money way back when because I actually minted gold and silver coins.
Oh.
And so I actually was the first one to decimalize the troy ounce. I came up with the first ½ ounce, ¼ ounce, and 10th ounce gold piece.
Were you trying to make gold more spendable? People would have these smaller.
Well, the name of the company was Gold Standard Corporation. And so, like I say, I have let me put it this way. It did not end well, and it was solely my fault and responsibility, and one of the deepest regrets of my life. But we're not here for that. Let's move on.
No, and we have to learn lessons from the past and to move on and do better in the future, right? So how did your next venture go better? Was it still in the gold space, or?
No, what happened was I actually did about 11 years in federal prison. I don't know if you knew that, but and then I came out and started selling Dish Network door to door because I had no money.
Sure.
And slowly built. my next technological breakthrough is I discovered that, hey, there's these little auto dialers that I could buy and it'd call 4 numbers at a time, and I could ring 3 people at a time instead of 1 person at a time, and
Sure.
my sales just went way up. And then I found this little thing that had 2 automatic, and they call people automatically and deliver those recorded messages.
Yeah, yeah.
And that really worked. And I'd call, and then whenever Dish Network had new local channels, I would go into those markets and have somebody from the outside come in, and I had made some of the largest Dish Network retailers into who they are.
Nice.
And so that was exciting. And then now I do mainly political calls. So, but basically I can deliver. Well, I did a lot for Ron Paul.
Yeah.
You know that? You're a fan of Ron Paul, aren't
I
you?
was a big fan of Ron Paul. Dr. No tried to audit the Fed, end the Fed. Great.
Do you remember how many states he carried?
I think it was probably none, right?
No, he won them on the states that had the conventions.
Sure.
And so we did a lot of calling for him, direct calling. We do a poll and who you vote. And if they said Ron Paul, then we'd say, hey, get down there to the meeting, because he was able to carry 8 states that
wow, that's
to
fantastic.
the state convention. So that was one thing that I'm kind of proud of. And,
so that was an attempt to move the political meter before Bitcoin. Was that like after you found Bitcoin? Would you try to move the meter again through politics, or would you try to somehow use Bitcoin and involve Bitcoin in that?
Well, I'm not a big one on the politics. I think that the solution is in Bitcoin. I had heard about it probably in 2012 or 11 from my son, but I never really got into it. As soon as I saw it, I knew what it was, and I could, I bought 10 Bitcoin on Coinbase, and I didn't have the money, so I paid for it on my check overdraft. But it was under $100, so I guess it was a good investment.
Yeah, I think it worked out all right. Yeah, they used to have that thing on Coinbase. You could buy like $50,000 worth of Bitcoin, and they would give it to you, and then you could transfer it out, and then they would get you later. And I was always thinking, I should just do that. I should just advance this 50K, let them deal with tracking me down, and then by the time they've tracked me down, maybe I could sell a third of it and pay them off.
Well, it didn't work that way. No, they ACH you. Until they get the funds.
Yeah.
You don't get the Bitcoin to fight. And I had some major. I was deplatformed from Coinbase and cannot. I used to recommend them, and I just can't anymore. You know all the reasons why.
Yeah. Well, they used to be better than they were, and it was I don't know, when I found them in 2013, I saw BitPay and Coinbase, and I was really excited that someone had built companies around Bitcoin, and they made it easier to use. Because I looked at it originally, I was like, oh yeah, this is computer nerd money, and the early guys are going to get rich, and I thought I missed it at $30. I was like, I should have got it at $1. These guys are smart, I'm done. Put that back in the box, look at it a few years later, it's $300. And I was like, oh, I missed it now, and then I was finally tired of it.
Well, I remember you were able to buy a new laptop because of Bitcoin, right?
Bitcoin Cash.
Bitcoin Cash? Okay.
It was free money, yeah.
All
it just came to me. Of course, if I had held it, I could have bought 3 laptops. All the market and everything. But I'm not great at timing it. But you have to buy cameras, you have to buy laptops, things that you use. And that makes it so you can do your work. So what's in the future for Ugly Old Goat? What's next for you?
Well, lots of things. I'll be launching a website soon. I mean, it's up. You can go visit, but I haven't done my part. Vortex is helping me with that website.
Nice.
And so I'm going to be doing that, and I've asked him to build a new back end, which everybody else can use. This isn't going to be just for me, but anybody that wants to put in a referral code, because we want everybody to have Bitcoin.
Sure.
So if you like my work and you want to support me and you buy a subscription and you blast it out to your friends, this is a pretty good subscription and it'll be really cheap. It's going to be a lifetime subscription.
Nice.
Okay.
Not
my life, not yours. Okay.
Good deal.
Okay. My life, not your life.
Caveats.
Okay. But it's a lifetime subscription. subscription. It'll be very reasonable.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, and then if you like, but most of my content's free.
Sure.
But if people want my advice on trading, been a very successful trader. And in 2017, I was one of the top 10 on BitMEX on the notational. So I mean, you can imagine. And I've been, you know, very successful. I had a decent year this year, not like I did in 2017, but
Yeah,
I lost equity, but I increased my Bitcoin. So that,
there you go.
I look at in the long run. I'm well ahead of the game.
Nice.
So that's what I'm doing. And the other thing that I'm kind of want to be doing, I'm going to start doing some YouTube, and I want to be. I've kind of been challenged because I saw our good friend Roger Ver with Chris DeRose,
Yeah.
and Chris DeRose thought that the best website out there for Bitcoin is Bitcoin.com. And so I agree, it's a pretty cool website. They have a nice website.
Sure.
So we just need to have a genuine Bitcoin website that has all the information in one central location, and that's where I'm going to see if I can. I don't know the content. I'm an amateur at this, but I rely on all of my friends and people who I respect and know in the industry to help me get this accomplished. So we'll see where it goes this year, but that's where I'm going.
We're all standing on the shoulders of giants, right? And where can people find out more about this? They follow you on Twitter? Or?
Twitter is Ugly Old Goat with the number 1. And you can feel, my number 1 thing is I write Medium. I usually write on Medium anywhere, usually twice a week, 3 times a week. Sometimes I'll won't be there for a week. But I do, I analyze fundamentals and I just give you, look, I give good common sense advice. The way I say it is I keep it simple and stupid, and my appeal is not to the I retire crowd, but to the blue collar guy. There's 2 kinds of entrepreneurs. There's those of us that have Bitcoin, and about 99% of the entrepreneurs don't have Bitcoin, and that to me is where the future is. We need to get the people that are already in business to understand the value of Bitcoin. And I think the way I'm at unconfiscatable, and that's how I explain it. If you're in business, I just ask you the question, what do you have that can't be taken from you?
Nothing.
Well, then most people think, well, they can't take my car, they can't take my gold, and then start thinking, yeah, they can take everything in your whole body, but they can't take your Bitcoin as long as you have the key. And that's the value of Bitcoin. It's secure, it's borderless, and it's unconfiscatable.
I think that's a good note to end on. Thank you so much, Ugly Old Goat.
Thomas, it's such an honor to be here and to be interviewed by you. I never imagined that this day would ever happen. We got to bring back that mad Bitcoin.
We'll see about it soon. We'll bring him back soon.
Oh, I think we have a lot of fun together.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye-bye.